Hey, what's up, everyone? We're here with the Behringer Wing, and we have arrived at the time to start throwing together a mix. We've learned how to use the console, we've set it up from start to finish. So let's dive into some music. So, over the course of the next, 20 or 30 minutes or so, we're going to build a mix from scratch. Now, there's some things I did ahead of time to save a lot of time, so I don't have to bore you with things like channel labeling and color coding and effects routing, and even I've even preset some trim levels to get volumes pretty close. But everything's blank, no EQs, no dynamics, nothing like that. There's no effects picked out. So we're going to go through that whole thing for a full band. So let me first walk you through all of the inputs that we're dealing with, and then we'll dive into the music. All right, so from left to right, top to bottom, we have a drum kit. It's a 5-piece drum kit. We've got one kick mic, two snare mics, a hi-hat, two toms, stereo overheads, stereo keys, bass guitar, just a DI, an acoustic guitar on a DI, a mono rhythm guitar, a stereo lead guitar. Next page, we've got a couple channels of tracks. So we've got stereo loops, stereo keys and strings, a mono synth bass, and then we've got a gang vocal track, a click track, and that's all for the band. And then over on the vocals, I've got a male and a female vocal, and then we're going to use one reverb and a tap delay and a drum verb. So we're going to keep it super simple. So hopefully most of you watching this video can relate to something you're about to see. Well, I think it's time to start with the kick drum. Let's go. Okay, so it's a Sennheiser 901. It's inside the kick drum. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to EQ it first, and then I'm going to put a gate on after that. And one of the great things about the Behringer Wing is the ability to put plugins right on the console where your console EQ and console dynamics are. Most consoles don't have this option. We're going to use whatever plugin we want. So here we go. Let's start with the EQ. I think we'll go with, let's try this Focusrite. So just getting a little bit of that low mid out of there. This mic has a ton of attack in it. So I'm actually going to take out some of that like 3K, and I'm going to add in some top end above that. All right, now let's add some top end. And some lows. Let's get some sub going. Okay, so that's okay. Not a huge fan of it, but you can hear just straight into that microphone, it's got tons of click in it. So let's try a gate. We can actually play with this attack time too to try and get some of those transients under control. So when that attack's at 0, it really brightens up, but I'm going to slow it down. I usually don't do this, but I want to try and get some of that attack out of there. Now back to the EQ, put some of this back in. Okay, that was a lot of time on just the kick drum. I'm getting a little carried away. So it's close enough. It's a kick drum. It's not that hard to make them sound good. Let's go to the snare. All right, so that's a Beta 57 on a Ludwig Black Beauty. So I'm going to go EQ first. Let's go with SSL. I'm going to scoop out some 800. Make that pretty wide. That's got some bite. There we go. And let's brighten it up. This drum already sounds like it's being compressed because of how loose the head is, but let's add maybe a distressor, because that will be awesome. All right, so that's quite a bit. I'm just going to pull back that input, but I like the way it sounds. All right, so here's on and off. Let me up that ratio. Okay, I like that. And now we got to add some verb. I usually always add the verb at this point because it's a part of the snare sound. So I've already got a bus set up. So we've got the drum verb bus, and we're going to insert an effect on here. Let's see, we got hall, room, chamber, plate, concert verb, ambience, VSS3, vintage room. I like the word vintage and I like rooms. Let's listen to this. So let's go sends on fader. I'm going to go ahead and send a bit to there so we can hear this. Okay, so it sounds pretty good, just like that. Let's mess with the time. Shorten that room size. I actually like that just the way it is. Let's leave that level for now and let's go to snare bottom. Okay, so this is a pencil condenser. It's really bright. It's actually a Mojave 101, I believe. It's a 100 or 101. They don't make this microphone anymore, but it's similar to Neumann, AKG pencil condenser, really bright on top. First thing I'm going to do is EQ, and then I'm going to use a ton of compression to really get this to shape up the way I want. Let's do high pass filter on this guy. And we'll just use the console EQ. and compression. And add some output gain. All right, let's blend these two together. So it's too much like 2 to 5K in the snare bottom. I need more of that sizzle. Like that. But I want less of this. More like that. All right, let's try that again. Okay, here's on and off. And with the verb. Let's pull that down a little. And then at this point, I'll go back to the kick and just listen to that kick with it. Okay, good enough to keep going. Hi-hat. We're at the finest spot where he's playing the hi-hat. There we go. So definitely high pass filter. And listen to that with the snare. Okay, not a lot going on with the hi-hat. We'll see what we get from the overheads on this too, which that's where I'm going to go next. So I'm not going to go to the toms. I'm going to go to the overheads here, and I want to listen to that blend between kick, snare, hat, overhead, and see what actually the toms sound like in the overheads. So you can hear the subs, you can hear all kinds of stuff coming through here. So let's high pass. They sound really good. Those are AKG 214s. Maybe a little bright there. I like a little bit of compression on overheads. So let's try something kind of snappy. Maybe that distressor again. Wrong channel. Whoa, too much. That sounds cool. I'm going to just roll through the ratios. A little more input. Okay, let's turn this on and off. I really dig that. All right, unmute everything else. Okay, decent start. Let's go to the toms. Let's find a section where Toms are playing, so we can loop those. Okay, so Tom 1, that's a 12-inch drum. These are clear heads on the toms, and it's a 12-inch with a Beta 98. High pass. Let's go SSL. That's nice. And adverb. Okay, and now I'm going to gate this, but this is not a great part to test the gate. Let me find something. That's pretty good. All right. So I'm going to turn this range up a little bit. Actually, I'm going to turn it all the way down, and then we'll get the threshold set, and then I'll back that range off a little. So there's cymbals are opening there. Still a little much. Speed the attack up. Still cymbals. Snare. Is that it? Nope. Nope. Let's open that time up. We still want it to sound like a drum. Is that going to do it? I think we found it. All right, let's try that. I'm going to open up the whole kit. Okay, let's do the same thing with Tom 2. High pass. Not as high on this guy. This is a 16-inch Tom with a KSM 32 microphone. Let's go SSL. I like the way that sounded on the rack Tom. Maybe it needs a little more bite. Not that much. All right, let's add verb to that guy. All right, now let's set the gate, same thing. Maybe I got lucky. Speed the attack up, make it sound like a drum. And I'm going to open this range up a little so it doesn't kill the whole thing. And I'll do that to the tom 1. Okay. All right, let's listen to the whole drum kit up to this point. Okay, I don't hear anything drastic except for levels. So what I would typically do, my instinct is turn all the faders down and just one fader up at a time and just mix the drum kit. Okay, so I'm noticing the gate light on tom 1 opening on some snare hits, so let's fix that. And I just saw it on tom 2 also. Okay, I think that's pretty good. The snare's a little loud, but it's fine. All right, moving on. I'm going to go to bass guitar. So we've got a Fender Jazz bass, and this is a DI. I believe it's an Avalon. No, sorry, it's a Sans amp. This is a Sans amp. So the bass tone's not terrible. There's not a ton of EQ I want to do. I'm going to actually compress this first and see what happens. And we'll use, let's use something new so we don't have to go to distressor every time. Let's try something I've never used. This Fairchild. Let's see what this sounds like. Not sure. Let's try something else. Let's try 76. I know this one will be awesome. Go ahead and go to 12 to 1. There we go. Turn the output down. Attack time. Let's mess with that. Too fast. That's better. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit of low end, and I'm going to take out some of the string and pick noise. Now that's driving into the compressor. So if you heard it get too squashed there, now we got to back off the input on the compressor. All right, let's listen to that with drums. Okay, it's not really sticking out enough. I don't know if it's just this crazy room I'm in, but I'm going to add a little mid. Back to the compressor. All right, let's listen to that with a full kit. Okay, moving on. Let's throw keys in now. This should be pretty simple. This is coming from a main stage rig where the patches for this song was created. So a lot of times I'm just looking for a high pass filter here. Let's see what it sounds like. Yeah, so the piano sound's already been EQ'd. It's compressed. It's got that very modern worship key sound. He's even got some distortion on here that wasn't on accident. That was actually on purpose. So I'm just going to blend this level in with the drums and bass. Okay, let's move on to acoustic guitar. This is standard acoustic with a pickup going to a DI. Okay, so there's an EQ on here that I feel like was made for what I like to do to acoustic guitars, and it's the Mach EQ4, and because of this air band. So to get the acoustic to almost sound like a percussion instrument, I'll really crank up the super top end and get it like it almost acts as like a shaker or a percussive instrument, which is why it's super important that the acoustic player is in tune and in time, because you're really going to hear it. So listen to this on and off. Okay, so I'm going to throw up in the mix, and then I'll turn this on and off. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm going to add some compression to control the dynamics because you can hear loud note, soft note. Let's go 1176. I'm going to go super fast. All right, let's try that in the mix. Okay, not too bad. Let's go on to rhythm guitar. Okay, so I believe this is a telly or something like a telly. It might be something custom through a Kemper. So it's just distorted guitar. That was like super bright. So I'm going to high pass and low pass this. So it's all the way down to like 6K. Don't tell the guitar player. All right, let's listen to that. Those drums are pretty loud. I'm going to pull those down. Okay, move on to lead guitar. Then we're getting close to tracks, and then we'll polish all the levels up. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Nice and wide. Let's listen to that. That sounds good. I think I lost the keys. Oh, they're there. Still there. Okay, we got some tracks. So we got, again, these tracks were made in the studio. So it's just levels, high pass filters, unless something crazy's happening. And if there is something crazy happening with your tracks, go fix them before they hit your console. All right, so it's just perk. So I'm just going to throw a high pass filter on here as precaution. Let's get it to like 60, just in case there's some low frequency stuff in it I'm not hearing. And we've got a keys track. That sounds familiar. That's the exact same parts and pad the actual keys player is playing. Probably just tuck that, and then we've got a mono synth bass. All right, so tons of low information there. Still, don't be afraid to high pass this. If your system is like super muddy on the bottom end, even something like this, putting a little bit of high pass filter on it can help. All right, I'm going to open everything up, throw the tracks in, and let's see what we're dealing with. Okay, I feel like that's pretty close. I'm going to do a quick polish of the whole band, and then we'll go to vocals. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Let's go to our lead vocal. He's singing on a Neumann 105 microphone on an Accent digital stick. 'Cause he is alive. Oh. All right, first things first, high pass filter. I'm going to go pretty high with this. His name is Jesus, and he is alive. The tomb is empty. Let me go find a part where he's not singing so loud, so closer to the front of the song. For the cross has paid my debt. Okay, so I'm hearing some low mid stuff and some stuff around 1K I want to get out. Standing in my corner,
I'm never too far gone. No, I'm never too far gone. 'Cause there is a hope, there is a light.
So that just did wonders, just that alone. Now let's add some compression. And I'm a huge fan of 1176 on vocals.
That he rose again. He is alive. Oh. And now redemption is my story. For the cross has paid my debt.
Here's on and off.
And if the Son of God is standing in my corner, I'm never too far gone.
Maybe a little much. I'm going to back off a little.
I'm never too far gone. 'Cause there is a hope.
All right, I'm going to back off that high pass filter, get some more body, and put a little more of that low mid back in.
And he is alive. The tomb is empty, and I'll test.
Okay, I'm going to go to verb now before I throw this in with the band, because even a great sounding vocal to me without some effects on it is going to stick out like a sore thumb. So let's go find a nice plate verb is what I like. So we'll select our vocal bus and our insert, and let's see here. Okay, reverbs. I like plates and halls on vocals. Let's try the one that looks like a lexicon. Of course, I'm going to try that one. And let's send level, vocal verb. We're going to just send it to a lot and see where the level is at.
I'm never too far gone.
Now, I'm going to send way too much just so I can hear the sound of the reverb.
There is a light.
And I'm going to go 100 milliseconds of pre-delay first, just some things I know what I want to do. And I'm going to dial this up to about 3 seconds. We'll start there.
And I'll testify that he rose again. He is alive. Oh.
That actually sounds really good.
And now redemption is my story.
Okay. I don't hate this. I'm going to just change the levels here. I'm back 10 dB down on the bus. So I'm going to flip that, pull that one down 10, and then the master up 10. It should be similar, but the level you send into these, it's going to change the way it sounds. So let's see what happened.
No, I'm never too far gone. 'Cause there is a hope, there is a light.
Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to turn the vocal down, the band on, slide the vocal in, and see where it sets.
And I'll testify that he rose again. He is alive. Now redemption is my story.
Okay, not bad. I'm hearing something in the vocal I don't like. I'm going to go to the EQ and just mess around until it sets better.
If the Son of God is standing in my corner, I'm never too far gone.
I think that might have done it. Let's see.
I'm never too far gone. 'Cause there is a hope, there is a light. His name is Jesus.
Okay, pretty good. Let's add a vocal tap delay. Same thing here. We'll take a bus. I've already got it pre-EQ'd. Cut out some lows, cut out some highs on this. And let's drop a tap delay. This one's actually called tape delay, but it has a tap also. And let's see what this sounds like. Send our level to 0.
Is my story.
We'll get close with the tempo.
My day. And if the Son of God is standing in my corner, I'm never.
So it sounds, I like the lack of top end in it, but the bottom end sounds a little weird. Let's just turn the knobs and see what happens.
There is a hope. There is a light.
Wrong way.
His name is Jesus.
That's time flutter. Okay, so I'm going to EQ this. So I'm just going to take some low end out. Let's go.
That he rose again. And now redemption is my story.
I think it's a little better. So pull that level down, vocal back up, verb back up, stack the delay in, then bring the full band in.
God is standing in my corner. I'm never too far gone. No, I'm never too far.
So what I'm trying to do there with the verb and the delay is create one sound and one texture, not just treat them both like different effects that happen sometimes. I want the whole thing to be a part of the whole sound of the vocal.
The tomb is empty, and I'll tell he rose again. He is alive. Now redemption.
Okay, I think we're really close. I'm going to go to the beginning of this song and just let it roll and mix the song for a minute or two, and then we'll stop and talk about what we think.
Oh, my soul, don't be discouraged. Oh, my heart, don't be dismayed. When I've lost my way, He's still right beside me. I'm never too far gone. Oh, my eyes, don't lose your focus. Fix your gaze on all He's done. All my worst mistakes are buried in His grace. I'm never too far gone. No, I'm never too far gone. 'Cause there is a hope, there is a light. His name is Jesus, and He is alive. The tomb is empty, and I'll testify that He rose again, and so will I. 'Cause He is alive. He is alive. Now redemption is my story. For the cross has paid my debt. And if the Son of God is standing in my corner, I'm never too far gone. No, I'm never too far gone. 'Cause there is a hope, there is a light. His name is Jesus, and He is alive. The tomb is empty, and I'll testify that He rose
Okay, that's about it. I'm pretty happy with that overall. There's a couple things I'd go back, like that the keys were a little hot, snare's probably a little loud, maybe that vocal's a little too loud, but overall I'm pretty happy. The console's got loads of features. Once you start mixing, it can make mixing on the console pretty fun. Setting it up is a completely different story. It's got, like I said, tons of features, but to get to those features can be a painstaking process sometimes with the console. But it's definitely doing things that no other console is doing. The ability to put the types of plugins that you can right in place of console EQ and console dynamics is pretty great. And obviously, for the price, this is certainly something that lots of churches should look at. And it doesn't sound terrible, but when you've got a great band and great sources and great microphones, and you've done the best job you can learning how to mix, I think you can get a pretty good result.